What's good, guys? So in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how you can extend your FlutterFlow app using custom functions. And this is probably one of my most favorite features of FlutterFlow because this essentially allows you to extend your app to make it as cool and as useful as you want, as you will shortly see. Now, before we get started, if you like no code, if you want to learn how to build any kind of app without writing a line of code, make sure you smash like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment to let me know what you think about this video. If you have any questions or concerns, it really helps this channel out. Thank you, and now let's get started. So here's the documentation for FlutterFlow. We're going to be talking about custom functions. And so custom functions allow you to define, write, test the Dart code directly in the UI editor, okay? FlutterFlow allows you to define incoming, outgoing parameters and check the custom functions for any errors right in your UI builder. Now, I know many of you are thinking, okay, we're gonna be talking about code. This is a no-code channel, but trust me, it's very, very easy. It's very, very simple, and you can add so much amazing functionality that you probably did not even imagine before. And it's super, super easy. You don't need to code like a huge app from scratch. It's just a little tweaks here and there, and you can just, add like amazing features, amazing functionality, amazing benefits to your end users, okay? So they talk a lot about different things, defining custom functions, a lot of these things. I'm gonna leave you guys with this documentation so you can just Google for it, FlutterFlow custom functions, that's it, and you will find this page. And now let's go into FlutterFlow and let me show you exactly what you can do. Now we are going to be using the app that I built in the previous video. So check out the previous video if you want to know what kind of app and how I built this app. But essentially this app basically displays hotels from this Cloud Firestore database. Okay, and you can learn all about it in the previous video. Essentially it's a database here. Which is a collection of records. We have a collection of hotels. Here we have 3 hotels, and we have various fields for each of these hotels. And we also have 2 reviews that are associated with one of these hotels. And essentially this app displays a list of the hotels, and you can also click on the rating, and you can see specific reviews for one of the hotels. Okay, very, very simple app, but it uses a lot of kind of the advanced functionality of FlutterFlow. So like I said before, check out the previous video if you want to know how it works. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about custom functions. But before we do that, let me show you a very cool thing. If you are here in FlutterFlow, you can click here on this little developer menu, okay? You can click on this, and you can click on View Code. And right away, you can see all the code for all the pages. So here's my hotel list. I have 4 pages. I can go to hotel detail and I see all the code. So this is just something a little extra if you guys are interested in looking at the code to see how the app is built. And it's using something called the Dart programming language, which is a very, very simple and very, very easy programming language. It's not like, it's not like the programming language of your grandfather, right? This is a very simple programming language. And so you can kind of take a look. There's functions here. These are custom functions, actually, that we're going to be defining today. And this is optional, right? You don't need to do this. But, for those of you who are curious, you can kind of get in here. Okay, so I'm going to click on Edit Project. We're going to get back. Now, let's talk about custom functions, okay? Now, the first thing that you want to do is you want to go in here, Custom Functions, okay? Now, once you're on this page, you can create your first function. Now let's talk about a very, very simple function, okay? I'm gonna hit create, and I need a function name. So I'm just gonna say lowercase. Lowercase, I'm gonna say make lowercase. And if you're curious why I am writing it in this way, this is called the camel case, and it's very, very common in programming languages. Essentially, you might have like a first word here, and this could be a verb, for instance, in this case. And it's going to be lowercase. Everything after that, I make it, I capitalize it. So lower is capitalized, case is capitalized, okay? So we have the function name. Now we need the return type. So this is going to return a string, okay? We're going to say string. is list false. It's not returning a list of strings. It's not returning an array. It's returning just one string. Next, we need an argument. Okay, an argument is going to be a string. So I'm just going to say string input. And we have a string is list false because it's one variable, one argument. We are going to say code. We're going to come in here and we're going to define it here. Now, this is the fun part. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it, okay? If you don't want to actually write this code yourself, you can do something called AI-generated code, okay? So I can choose this, and I can enter the actual description of the function. So I can basically tell the computer in plain English what I want the function to do. So for instance, here are some examples. Find the 3 smallest numbers in an array, get Google Maps search URL given a location, download PDF from URL and save locally. Okay, we're going to try something simpler. So I'm just going to say return a lowercase string. Okay, that's it. I'm going to press this button right here and I'm going to wait for it to work. And it's using something called OpenAI. It's using a third-party API to generate this code. All right, and there you have it. We have the result here. It's saying string make lowercase, string input. This is the name of the function. This is the argument, and it's returning lowercase. So it's basically saying if the input that we're giving is not null, it's kind of an error checking, okay? Because you cannot return lowercase if the input provided is null. Return string input dot lowercase, otherwise return empty. So it's a very, very nice function because it's essentially, it's kind of dummy proof, right? Because if we send an argument, we have to send an argument because that's the function signature. It requires one argument. But if we mess up and we forget that the argument is actually null, it's empty, it's not valid, it's gonna return this empty string here, okay? Which is very, very cool. And you can check for errors, you can hit save, you can do all that. If you like this function, you can just hit save. If you don't like this function, you can return your own. So for instance, I'm gonna return my own. Let's say I like this. I'm gonna say return string input. And what's cool about it, if I press dot, which is kind of a method for this string, which is kind of an object, I have lots of options. Look at this. I can do trim left, trim right. I can do a lot of things. So once I start writing, and I can just start writing to lower, and it finds the function to lowercase, okay? And that's it. And immediately there's a checker. So it checks if there are any issues. And that's it, we're done. And next I can check for errors. And if I like it, I can just hit save and I'm gonna have this function. All right, so now I defined that function, I wrote it. So if we come back here, we're gonna see this function right here, string input, etc. And we can view that function, okay? There's no errors, nothing like that. And now I can use that function anywhere, okay? So for instance, I can go back here, I can come back to my app here, and I can say, we have a name here. And what I wanna do is I don't wanna set it from variable, I wanna set it from a function. So right now, if I run it, it's gonna display the name. And this is gonna be a hotel name, right? So if we come in here, we have the hotel. So as you can see, Hilton it's capitalized, okay? So if I run this app right now, it's gonna say Hilton with a capital. It's gonna say, let's see, it's gonna say Marriott with a capital. But if I change my code to use that function, it's gonna display it all lowercase. Let me show you how you can do it. So instead of setting from variable, what I need to do is I need to say custom function here. I'm gonna choose my function, make lowercase, and now I'm gonna send in my function argument. So string input, we are gonna send as from variable. The source is gonna be our hotel record. Available options, we're gonna say name. And that's it. And now we're sending in the name to the function, which is gonna return lowercase name. We're gonna hit save. And now if you run the app, you're gonna see that it's gonna be all lowercase. As you can see, it even shows it here on the screen. So let's run the app right now. Let's wait until it builds the app. And there we have it. We have the new app. And as you can see, it's all a lowercase. So how easy was that? This is so easy. And I can say without a doubt, I think it's a lot easier than how it's done with Bubble, right? Because with Bubble, you're using plugins. Here, you can just write a function. Super easy to do. Very, very simple. Another thing that you can do, check this out. We're gonna come back. And there's something called, so for instance, we have this thing here. We have this list, right? So if you come in here, you see that we're here on the list view, okay? Now, it has something called conditional visibility, right? So for instance, for each row, we have something called conditional visibility, meaning that should this row be displayed or not? We can say false. And so for instance, it says here conditional visibility. I can say all of them are false. I don't care what they are. I don't care about the values. I don't care what's going on. All of these are false. Or I can say, well, only if the rating is above a certain value, or only if it's only if the city is London, or only if the continent is Europe, or only if the continent is not Europe. You can define all of that here in conditional visibility. Now, it offers you out of the box some conditional visibility. So for instance, I can say condition. I can pick a condition. I can say first value, and I can set it. I can say source, whatever. I can say name. I can say equal to, not equal, set, and empty. But this is all it offers, right? Just the equals. I can, the test for equality, the test for not equality, and then the test is set and not empty. But what if I want like a value, right? So for instance, our app here, right? If you run this app, as you can see, we have the rating here, 10, 9, 6. What if I only want to display hotels that have a rating of at least, a certain amount? I want something complicated. I want to, send a request. I want to get a value. I want to do something complex. I want to do something that's not covered by this kind of out-of-the-box, so-called out-of-the-box functionality. Well, it's also very, very easy to do. I can say custom function, and I can say function name. I cannot use make lowercase anymore because it needs to return a Boolean value, meaning true or false. So we're going to create a new function, and we are going to say, row visibility or hotel visibility, okay? We are going to say return type is going to be Boolean, is list false. The function argument is going to be a rating, right? So this is a hotel rating here. Data input is going to be an integer. False, is list is false. We're going to say code. And I'm going to code it real quick. I'm going to say, well, if, hotel rating is greater than 0, return true. There you go. A much easier way of doing something like this, right? A much easier way is you can do something like this. Return hotel rating is equal to 8. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay? Which means that if it's greater than 8, it's going to return automatically true. If it's equal or less than 8, it's going to return false. Very, very simple. We're going to say check for errors. Just in case. It's a very, very simple function. Okay, it says no errors. We're going to hit save. And now we have it automatically here. So we have this visibility on a row level, which means it's going to control whether the entire row is going to be displayed or not. It's going to be visible or not. And we're saying hotel visibility, depending on the rating, okay? So we're sending in the argument. We're saying set function argument, hotel rating. And we're setting this rating from a variable. We're going to say hotel record, and the available option is rating because it knows it's an integer. This is the only one, an integer here. We're going to say save. Now, like I said, if you go in here, we have 10, 9, 6. We're only going to be displaying those that are more than 8. So even 8s are not going to be displayed because only more than 8, okay? So this is kind of what we have. We're going to run the app again, and we're going to see if we're only going to be displaying these 2 hotels here. So let's run the app. Now the app is done, and check this out. It's only displaying the rows where in the record, the rating field is higher than 8. Now this is very, very powerful. There's so many things that you can do. It's a very, very powerful system. You can change value, you can filter, you can essentially extend any and all parts of your app using these custom functions. And really, I can make this video 2 or 3 hours long telling you of all the possibilities, lots and lots of ways of doing it. And so in the future videos, I want to cover some of the other things. I want to talk about custom widgets and custom actions. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content about custom functions, custom widgets, and or custom actions, definitely let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what's more important to you or what you're curious about in terms of how it works and in terms of how it's going to help you to build a better app and to easily build a much better app. So let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see content about custom widgets, custom actions, or just about anything else when it comes to FlutterFlow, definitely let me know in the comments below. I will take into account your feedback and I will create more content for you to help you code with this amazing tool. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've gotten value from this video, it's very, very important that you smash the like button, leave a comment below regardless, and subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps out the channel a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.